Hello, friends, and welcome back to our Rally Cry halftime show. We got a second one of these because, Grapes, this is a series that we are going to go that distance. We are going to get that game 3. Supernova wasn't quite ready to have their last dance yet.
Nice. I like the usage of both of those names right there. It's good wordplay. I got so excited off the energy. I had to keep myself hydrated. I have, of course, my thing. I spilled a little bit. I apologize. Yeah, we're getting excited here. We're getting excited here for game 3.
You just say it's a pattern on the shirt, you know?
Yeah,
a strange fashion choice, but
it's a pattern that wasn't there for the first 2 games, but will be here for the
Honestly, in LA, that could sell for like $200. You know, I'm just throwing that out there. Just gotta, build up the brand, get the brand value, make sure the promos are good.
Grapes, it's about that confidence, all right?
Like that?
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. Oh, it kind of highlights it right here if I go like this.
Yeah. Nice.
Well, I'm glad that you got that confidence, and I'm hoping maybe this is something that you could be putting on to our players, because we're going to do a round of pep talks for our Rally Cry halftime show. So from each of you, I'm going to get 1 pep talk for a player and 1 pep talk for a team. Obviously, you guys can't pick the same team or the same player, and it'd be nice if you picked players from different teams. And then there is going to be 1 stipulation set by the other caster, something you have to include in your pep talk, something you have to do. Grapes, I know you're familiar with this, because I saw you do this the other day, so now you can experience a little bit of that evil yourself.
Yeah, I'm getting a taste of my own medicine. I wrote out all the scenarios that I could potentially give to the casters before, but now I have no idea what Cubby's going to throw my way. So I'm a little nervous, but we'll see how it goes.
Who's going first here, Sierra?
Who wants to volunteer to go first?
I have a little bit of experience. I can give the first pep talk.
Okay, I like it. Okay,
right.
So stipulation. I'm gonna let you pick the player before I add the stipulation.
Okay. I mean, we've been hyping him up the whole series in our pre-show as well. I'm gonna go Dragoon for Supernova.
Okay, Dragoon. See, the easy stipulation for me would be to include Dragoon Smash. I'm gonna go with a more fun one.
Okay.
This is gonna be a real deep cut joke. Okay.
Oh,
I hope Dragoon sees this too.
No.
You're gonna have to include guacamole.
Yeah, I knew it.
In your reference, guacamole must be included.
I'm going to add on to the stipulation because I feel like that one's pretty easy to add. You also do have to say Dragoon Smash at some point too. So the double whammy here.
Guacamole has to be mentioned at some point in there. If anyone in the chat gets this, you're a real one, by the way.
Am I going to get in trouble for doing this pep talk here, Cubby?
You will not get banned from League of Legends for this. No, you will not.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's fine.
It's all right. I'm safe. I'm safe from the overlords. Okay, here we go.
You'll not get chat banned.
What's up, Dragoon? Yeah, good game last time. Mordekaiser counterpick went up well, but I need a little bit more from you this time. You know, we need that counter matchup. We need something really big out of you to make sure that we move on and play against Team Fish Tacos, because you know what goes well with some tacos, with some fish tacos here, Dragoon? Some guacamole. I know you're very familiar, and I know what you do with those avocados. You take them, you rip them open. Take that Darius axe and you Dragoon Smash all over the competition. That's what I need from you this game, Dragoon. You got this. Let's win us a series.
I thought an A+. I think that was very well done.
I knocked my headphones over a little bit, so my hair might be messed up.
I like that. I like that.
You know, that's when you know that you're passionate about what you're doing, all right? So hoping that Cubby, your pep talk, can live up to that, and you are going to have to pick a player from The Last Dance for this one. Make it fair, you know?
Give me Sketch.
All right.
Yeah, give me Sketch.
What's the stipulation? What does Cubby have to make sure it's included in his pep talk?
Okay, I need you to bring up the fact that he's played AD carry before, and, you know, is role swapping over, and maybe if you want to like add a little bit of humor to this, if you want to like maybe come in and forget that he actually role swapped going in, and like halfway through remember, and then try to save yourself.
Oh,
what? Okay.
I love this.
A bit of an oopsie into the regeneration.
This is what we get for watching sketch comedy before this. You know, now Grapes is like being like, all right, you got to do, you know, Tim Robinson on the spot. All right, well, Sketch, you're a support now. You always have been, in fact. And we're going to forget about the times that you competed with Fear with Dragoon, actually, on the same team. But You know, I know that you have some friends on the other side. I know that, you know, you were fighting for your right to get back into Challengers. I gotta say, that last game, I like the Thresh. I like the Thresh both games. I feel like it's a champ that you've done a good job of picking up. But that death sentence, more of a death sentence for yourself and your team. Unlike game 1, where it was a death sentence for the enemy team. All right, so we're gonna need to turn that around. Kind of like how we turn things around after we get excited on Jinx, the way that you used to do in the glory days, when you actually were able to deal damage as a marksman. Guess what? Not anymore, my friend. You are a dog like me. I've peaked Diamond 1 at every role except for support, where I peaked GM. Welcome to our world, all right? Sometimes you just gotta accept the fact you're a support now. But you know what I do believe in? I believe you can help Aaron not get behind in lane on their own. Next time, tell your friend, think marksman brain, right? I need to go here by myself. I need these solo gold XP. You can't be taking the resources. Let Aaron get those bot. I think that's where things went wrong in the last game. The double rotation, not keeping that Jinx bot, letting her catch the waves. That was a big problem for the last dance moving forward. Sketch, get greedier, not for yourself, but also for your teammates now in this role, okay? That's a new thought we have to have. Besides that, your full name is Sketch Dreams, so keep on dreaming, man. One win, you can keep dreaming that you get back and you're promoted through the promotion tournament. Last dance, baby. Let's go.
I need some more energy. I need some more energy there, Cubby.
You're so close at the end there, too. Like, at the end of Pep Talk, you know, Sketch, your name used to be Sketch Dreams. Keep dreaming, kid, because one more game and you could still... And you just...
Honestly, I can't get too excited, though, because I don't think they win the next series no matter what. So I haven't seen it yet. We're still looking for more from the last dance, you know?
Also, Cubby just casually flexing that he hit GM in the pep talk. Just classic.
Nobody cares. I'm just
What about it?
Just seems like something you bring up a lot. That's all.
Just like Sketch, when he used to deal damage, I also like to live back in the glory days where I was the best Braum in North America. Sometimes, you know, we like to...
Maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll see you on. All right. We got one more round of pep talks, and this one's gonna be for the teams.
Ooh. Sierra, do you want to take this one? I don't know.
I love
honestly,
Sierra to the bus.
I didn't.
It'd be weird if one of us did 2 and the other one did another. So.
I thought you were trying to throw me under the bus for the whole him having to carry the casters in League. Honestly, I thought that's where this was going. And I'm like, I will back up what Cubby's saying on this one. I am not good. So.
I mean, I could take another one if you want. If you want from me. I mean.
You know what? I want to see the redemption of Cubby here. So Cubby was saying that he doesn't quite have belief in the last dance into the next series. Okay. And I just saw a lack of passion in that last pep talk. So this time we need to see the passion, and you are going to pep talk last dance going on forward, all right?
Okay. All right, last dance.
All right, Grapes, a little stipulation real fast.
Oh, that wasn't it? Okay. How about don't mention that you were GM?
All right, perfect. Send it.
One. Can I not mention I golf either? Is that
no standard Cubby.
No talking about
very
yourself.
Very new Cubby here.
Hey, I'm not in a sweater today, all right? We're switching things up. Anyway. All right. Last dance. We need someone to be Dennis Rodman on this team. I really feel like, you know, Aaron posturing himself as that bad boy. You got to embrace that. Find the cleanups. Dennis Rodman, he always took down the rebounds, did the dirty work for the team. Aaron, you're going to pick Jinx. You got to clean up, find those resets as well. Do that dirty work. Be the janitor on the Rift, just like Dennis Rodman was under the hoop. I also got to say, this team's got to come together, all right? One of the big pieces of the last dance, it was Phil Jackson. Where is that Phil Jackson mentality with this group of 5? How can we get these guys to play together? I feel like they're still split on the map. They're overcommitting the plays. They got to be smart. They got to stay within themselves. We got to see that from the last dance. Also, let's be a little bit smarter about the draft. Let's not give over Zaya Rakan plus Annie this time around. You had a close game against it. Game 1 that you won. Game 2, you got beat by it pretty damn bad. Just throw it out. Do what Supernova did to you by taking away that Syndra plus Jarvan. Force them to at least play something different to move forward in this game. I would love to see that out of the coaching staff. And then, where's my MJ? NXI, you went legendary game 1, man. You got to ball out a little bit more in this game 3. Game 2, you did your best, but come on, man. You got to be the best player on the Rift here. Really hope to see that from NXI in this game. And that's what they're going to need if they want to move forward.
All right. Definitely need to see a lot from both of these teams moving on forward, because this is... Might I remind you all, this is elimination on the line now. We're in game 3. One mess up, one little mistake, and one team can lose their chance of making it to Challengers in our summer split. So it's time to head off to draft and see which team is going to be moving on into our next round.
Thank you very much, Sierra. It is time for our final draft of this series. Supernova versus The Last Dance. Sides have swapped going into game number 3, which is a very interesting thing to examine. First of all, Cubby, I love the basketball references here. Do you know that Aaron
Jordans, man?
I
gotta lean into it.
So when Aaron posted the announcement for The Last Dance, he actually did have NXI's face on Michael Jordan. So you were a nail on the head for that one.
I mean, he's the one player that's actually won on the pro stage, so that's NXI. It's his time to step up. Kizno being the latest addition to Supernova. Props to Kizno. I know I was hard on him in game 1. I think rightfully so. He's had a tough tournament. That game, though, he was huge in game 2 on the Viego. Full props to him, and honestly, would love to see The Last Dance deny that champ from Kizno. Again, row Supernova off their comfort zone. Do what Supernova really did to you by making sure that you at least deny what you were beaten with. And love to see Supernova switching up some of that priority in draft. Not only taking away that Blitzcrank from Sketch to maybe set up for that Jinx plus Thresh, but also now the Rakan. So do we see a first pick Gragas and a takeaway here from Supernova?
Gragas is something that Onat also can play in the mid lane. We saw it a lot from him in the qualifiers, so would be a bit of a flexible option. And I actually was interested in what Supernova were going to do in terms of the Kindred, because they banned it away on red side both games, and now on the blue side they have Kizna, who is that Kindred player. Looks like they just don't want NXI to have it, and instead not prioritizing the Gragas. They will be locking in the Ahri, which was banned against Onat in the second rotation in game 2.
Curiously enough, like when I look at other prio picks, I mean, Gragas is still available. That's big. I honestly, if you went Gragas Jace on the side of The Last Dance now, I would not hate that. Just making sure you have that magic damage combo. Also, you could deny something like Jinx Thresh now if you really want to stick with that duo. Wukong, Vi, a lot of junglers are up, so I'd actually like to see that kind of dropped a little bit and see prio elsewhere, as it will actually be the answer for the mid lane counter pick. Do we see a Viego takeaway? I feel like that's a really big pick for Kizno and something that does synergize really well with the Sandra.
I would not be surprised at all. I am a little bit sad that Messages is not the main carry here in this game. I'm going to be a little bit more supportive, but I think my sadness has dissipated a bit because Lee Sin has been locked in for NXI, so we're going to have a good time.
It's been denied from him in the first 2 games. He will have it in the third, but again, bot lane's been dropped heavily in this draft and rotation, so Supernova will be able to pick up something different. Blitzcrank is banned away. They will be able to take that Thresh plus Aphelios. If you want Jinx, you have to take it now. You can drop support. I think that's going to be the pick here for The Last Dance as we move forward.
Traded marksman. It was the Thresh that was picked up for Sketch in the last 2 games. This time, Chucky is going to get a hand on the champion. It's his most played throughout the entirety of his career, something that Chucky is very, very familiar on. The Azog Aphelios will be responded with another Jinx out of Aaron.
Like the Wukong ban, I want to see a Viego ban. I think Lee Sin has a better matchup into Viego than Lee Sin does a matchup into Vi. Vi would be another option for a ban, so I think that it's either Viego or Vi banned away, and then Supernova gets the other one. Whereas Supernova, they're going to protect Dragoon a little bit. I think taking away Fiora is pretty good against Bajani. Also, I don't think you really have to worry about that Gragas anymore, so I wouldn't mind. Yeah, they're just going to take away the Nautilus. This does open up the Tahm Kench, so maybe we see a TK taken here by Sketch just to try and help protect that Jinx.
Yeah, with the Thresh taken off the board on the side of Chucky's, it does mean that a new champion has to be paired alongside Aaron's Jinx. And something like Tahm Kench makes sense. Something like Braum, Cubby, I know you're very familiar with this champion, also makes sense. Champion that Sketch also has a lot of experience on with his recent switch over to support.
I like Braum when there's main engage. I don't think there's enough main engage from The Last Dance. Lysandra does kind of fit that a little bit. But this will be a little bit lower in terms of engage profile for The Last Dance. They could fix that with a top line pick.
Xin Zhao, however, this is not a champion that we have seen very much, but it is something that Kizno used to play back in 2022 on various lower level than tier 3 teams. So I don't know. That is an interesting pickup, something he's very comfortable on. And we're not going to talk about that, however, because I'm going to jinx it.
Maybe. It's not bad. You have a couple people that have to go in. And I do think a tank for Bajani does fit what The Last Dance wants to do with trying to protect Jinx. So this would deter that.
Yes!
Okay. We've got the game 3 Darius for Dragoon. It's a special of his. You roll the clip from it, the pre-show that you found from last year. It was a big one, Grapes. You got a big smile on your face now.
Oh,
I think the best answer to this is honestly Gnar. I know Bajani does play Gnar. I think Plated Steelcap's rush on Gnar is very good in the Darius, and Gnar would fit the rest of this team okay. I wonder if we see that or something else.
You know, it is kind of Dragoon forcing
boy.
Bijani's hand a little bit because he has
boy.
resorted to playing tanks for the majority of this promotion tournament. But now, with the Darius lock-in, it will be the Jax to match up against him. Bijani had a good Jax game a little bit earlier on in the season. Didn't end up with a win, but we know that he's comfortable on these engaging flanking champions.
Yeah, he's been on tanks for the majority of the tournament, but originally he was a fighter, a brawler player in solo queue, known for the Fiora and the Camille. So to see him now on the Jax, it's a very aggressive matchup into that Darius. And for me, very different look this game, as I think a lot of it's actually going to be about that top lane, just given how snowbally both Darius and Jax can be in this matchup. I think both junglers likely to be pathing up there.
I really love the deviations, the adaptations that we've had in this series, the best of 3. Dragoon, this whole season, has been kind of relegated to playing a lot of tanks. His most played champ throughout the split was Cassante, when we know that he has these pocket picks available for him. And down 1-0 in potentially the last series of the season, they decide to give him the Mordekaiser in game number 2, and now to give him the Darius in game number 3. This is what we wanted to see out of Supernova, our 4th seed from the NACL qualifiers in a do-or-die game against the Last Dance.
Look at the summoner spells in the top side too. It is Lethal Tempo and Ignite versus Ghost and Conqueror. So no TP's top. That's even more reason to focus on what's going on up there. So again, want to see how fast our junglers can get involved in that top side, given how volatile that matchup can be. I think all eyes have to be up there, making this a very different game than the last 2 we've seen already, Grapes.
Our first team's going to be eliminated here, Covey. We've played 4 days. This is our 5th day straight of promotion tournament. And finally, one team will have their season end. Last Dance, of course, initially CLG Faith coming into the NACL. Had a rough showing, but looked promising going towards the end of the season and playoffs. And they could be the first NACL team to be relegated out of the league in the inaugural split.
So curiously enough, since I was actually starting on the top side, I really thought that each jungler would just try and sprint to get involved in top lane. This tells us, though, that we're not going to have that quite yet. It's going to be a little bit different here.
Could be a quick, maybe level 2 up to the top side. We have double combat summoners for Dragoon and Bijani, as you mentioned earlier. So we see both junglers actually focus towards the top side of the map, and maybe we see even earlier of a look towards top lane, or instead, we'll leave them to duke it out themselves.
Yeah, would love if we could see quite a bit of the top lane action from our observers as possible, as that's going to be a very volatile lane early on. And Bijani, with that Counter-Strike, should be okay for the first couple of levels, but once level 3 comes around, that's where things start to get a little bit scarier here for the Jax, when Darius has everything available to him. One of the big interactions is trying to use your Counter-Strike to dodge out on that W from Darius, because of course it does not only apply that extra bleed stack, but also the slow.
I feel like it's just so tense right now. I mean, we haven't had the loudest of early games in the first 2 games, but we know now that each of these teams are going to be so careful with how they approach the first few minutes, because they don't want their season to end off of a coin flip, per se, and just, you know, not even getting the chance to play a competitive last matchup. You see here the value of Bijani's Jax into Dragoon. Of course, it was a blind pick Darius, and it seemed like the Last Dance top laner had some answers to it.
Speaking of answers, NXI, curious path here from Hisno as he skipped over both these camps, actually goes straight for the Krugs and left a ward on his red that will now spot where Lee Sin's at. So Kisno has a little bit of information advantage here. We will see with Chuki's roaming. NXI, yeah, he's going to get a little bit suspicious. Like, hey, maybe I'm spotted here. The wards being dropped by each of our supports, and a little bit of a skirmish around the bot side camps here for Kisno as NXI trying to be aggressive.
Still looking to try and attack this rookie jungler. Got the better end of him in game number 2, but NXI wanting to make sure that he is the one kind of controlling the tempo in this final potentially decisive game. Onto the Raptor camp, it is stolen away. And another return here to the red buff. Sketch also here. This could be an all-out brawl.
NXI doesn't know he's on a ward, though. As that, there it goes.
By the death sentence, they're going to try to commit a double flay coming out from Chuki's, and now Sketch has to use the Unbreakable to save his jungler. Onat rotating around as well. Kisno picks up the red buff, and with the Gravitum of Azog can be a lot of opportunities for Supernova to continue the chase. Kisno looking for maybe a win becomes lightning. The root not going to connect as Sketch has to flash away.
NXI did save his smite from the Raptors, so is able to smite the crab away. It still is a lead for the side of NXI, and Lee Sin using some of that early priority to get some things done. Like to see that. As it honestly, the person helped the most, I will say, it's messages. He was able to stick around, find some extra waves, and I think the Wasander, this is a winning matchup for this. Messages in much better shape off the invade as he didn't join, and the last dance were able to get everyone out.
It is an advantageous matchup for messages, but this is a champion for Onat, the Ahri, that he had incredible performances on throughout this season. Played it 3 times, 24, 5, and 15 on the Ahri over those games. So definitely is able to put those carry pants on. We saw it throughout the qualifiers, and now in this do or die, might have to turn our attention towards the bot lane though, as Aaron and Sketch are looking to chase down Azog. Does have the flash, the lantern also providing a lot of distance, as Chookies blocks up the Sonic Wave as well.
Yeah, nice try in the control ward there from Sketch, but well played by Azog to make sure that that was able to be taken. Now, with Lee Sin being spotted bot, love to see Kizno getting involved and taking away a camp from NXI off his reset. That's really well done.
Slight lead towards Aaron and Sketch as they'll get this bot lane push in. Of course, were aided by NXI's appearance, but allows for Supernova to control the top side a little bit as Kizno picks up the Rift Scuttler in the top lane.
Yeah, another big thing, so neither of our top laners have TP. Dragoon was able to get that wave to crash. I know that things look even on the top side in the CS, they are, but it's really important to get waves in, especially in these long lanes when you don't have that TP. As you can see the wave state here for Dragoon. That wave shoving back towards him, so he's actually going to have an XP advantage from this, and the plated steel caps rush will really help him win that war of attrition against Jax, given how much damage over time Darius gets from those bleed stacks. Steel caps will really help him be able to trade effectively into Bajani.
The Q there does thin the wave out a little bit, but still will be Dragoon unlocking level 6 first. That guillotine is available, and now Darius really has a good time in a 1v2 if NXI decides to go up and try to help out Bajani.
I'm still so surprised that like neither of our junglers have gotten involved in the top side, especially now because since Darius is 6, it's really tough for NXI to go top. The threat of being 1v2'd by a Darius is always real when you are a melee champion. So I think the Last Dance missed out on their opportunity to really punish this Darius. Now, it will be top lane priority for the majority of the game here for the side of Supernova. And you can see how Dragoon's playing it.
Ooh, ultimate traded. The Ignite comes through. Dragoon flashes away, dunks him down with the Dragoon Smash. First blood, Supernova.
As we were talking about with the Darius, man, the bleed stacks are so legit. Bajani, he burns everything. Dragoon only burns one of his summoner spells, still has access to that ghost, so he could run down Jax the next time. Getting more waves in, that is massive as Bajani, he opted into the skill matchup against Dragoon's Darius. Not a lot of top laners have survived that in qualifiers, and he won't survive it now in the promotion tournament as Onat will get ulted, but he doesn't even burn his own ult. He's able to sneak right on out of there.
Ooh, what a dodge again from the Ahri as well. NXI barely getting away from that engage. Let's take a look at this 1v1 again. So many little things that Dragoon did right.
Dragoon waiting for that Counter-Strike to expire. And he just makes sure that that Q hits with that flash. Gets that ult down right after. You can't flash out of that once it's cast. As Dragoon, that Darius, it comes up big. Bajani dropping the ball there. That's massive moving forward for the Darius.
I know the viewers can't see me. I have such a big smile on my face right now, man. Dragoon
it makes me very happy, Graves.
Oh my goodness. The last potential game of the season, he whips out the Darius, picks up a solo kill. Once hitting level 6. I mean, this is what Supernova is about. This is what Dragoon has been waiting for the longest time. The opportunity to match up against teams in the NACL, and he's delivering.
I like this from Kizno. He's going to leech 6 off this mid wave to see if he gets there, but he's going to try and do this to make sure that Rift Herald play is open for them. Wasn't quite able to get that level 6, but with this top lane priority from Dragoon and the strength of the Darius, I think that Rift Herald is going to be seated right over to the side of Supernova. So first neutral going over their way, playing around their priority, and the win that Dragoon has already found, really nice.
Double fillet here from Chookies. Sketch getting huge value out of that Unbreakable, but gets hit by another Death Sentence. Has to flash away with the Ignite ticking onto him. Will be Sketch surviving here, but Supernova kind of winning on the top side and now forcing Summoner's bot. It allows for Kizno to pick up this Rift Herald. They have firm control of this game 3.
And a lot of it's off the Darius. Like that top lane, it's just winning now. Because you went Brawler v Brawler, you didn't take the TP, you lost. It's only winning for the Darius, and it's going to make life really tough for the side of the Last Dance. They have to find a win elsewhere. Don't really have the draft to do so. Is okay. Nice
One more
ball.
auto. Gonna proc it. Bijani uses the leap strike to get away. Another close call, but now Messages looking for a play onto Onat, who has done a great job at staying safe from this aggressive Lee Sin.
Belba cleanse was really important there for the side of Onat. That's the only reason that he got out of there with his life. You can see the Merc Treads rush as well. No TP available for the side of Onat, so this will be the free dragon. You can see Kisno is actually skipping over all of his camps to try and contest. This is surprising to me. I don't think that this is a contest. I'd rather just see this be seeded by the side of Supernova. Take the win that you have on the top side. Yeah. Okay.
I saw Chucky's running around.
Good call. Yeah.
And I know that, of course, we're a very high level of gameplay here, but if I was playing that Thresh, I'd throw out a hook. Just why not? See? Get the steal.
Oh, of course. If you can flip it, you never know.
It looks like
What else do you
instead,
have to do there?
yeah, it's just Last Dance picking up the dragon. NXI knows how to use Smite effectively, and unlike me in some of my lower level games, so it makes a lot of sense. It is the objective picked up on the other side of the map for them, as maybe they can use that to try and snowball this game a little bit further, because they have this very aggressive mid jungle here with the Lee Sin and Lissandra. I want to see Last Dance try to find opportunities to work on the map.
Wait, Onat's walking top, and NXI, he's actually on the Krugs. I think Onat's going to find him on the Krugs. That's a really nice cancel, actually. That kills a lot of tempo. I like that ult from Aaron.
We're not forcing NXI off the Krugs, as you were mentioning. I want Messages to go for these plays, but it's Onat who has the priority in this matchup.
It was just off of that wave because Onat was coming out of base. So it will be back to Messages now, but this does open up an angle for Messages to try and make a move if he would so choose. Will not be the case, though, as I mean, ult pretty much burned by Onat. That's not ideal, but it's fine. Ahri ult's a pretty low cooldown. It is what it is. But the Last Dance, that does give them a small window to try and make a play here, as they have Liss ult. Ahri is no ult. And Braum has 6. Could be good.
4 now, stacked around the bottom side river as Dragoon and Bijani once again going at it. Jax has Ignite, but the Counter-Strike does not connect. That's a really nice interaction there with the Apprehend.
Yeah, once you get tier 2 boots as Darius, after the Apprehend, you can always get out of the Counter-Strike if there is no Leap Strike available from the Jax. So really like to see Dragoon not just doing that, but also like S-King, so he keeps as close to the Jax as possible too. Obviously very important on the Darius, so I'd love to see some of the mastery of this champion. And, you know, a lot of the reason that we have an excited Grapes, at least to my camera, you know, try and take care of this game. There's a reason you're excited. It's because Dragoon's, he is very good at Darius. He's one of the best that we have on the server.
You say that for sure. And another one, Quacker, already promoted into the NACL with AoE. So we got 2 Darius players in the NACL for the summer split. I wouldn't be too disappointed. It'll add some extra flavor to the league, of course. But I really like what we've seen out of Dragoon so far. And now the question is, how will he be able to translate this lead to the later portions of the game?
The game has slowed down, so credit to the Last Dance on that, and credit to Bijani for not getting blown out of the water up here. Neither top laner has based in a long time, so I think that's part of the reason. I'd actually like to see Darius get back and try and control when he's able to get back in the lane, because Dragoon does have the lead. We do see Bijani, he's going to finally force that recall now. I assume how long he's been up there, he probably has access to Divine Sunder, as he does cancel with Darius shoving out that wave, but I think a big key, getting ready for this upcoming dragon, as it is a Cloud Dragon. With the 2 dragons that have been taken so far, Grapes, you're pretty much guaranteeing that you're going to roll a pretty powerful soul. So I think Supernova evening that up in the second one, while they are strong in the map right now, could be really nice for them.
Some more gold into Azog. Aaron and Sketch walking very close as Chookies lands another death sentence onto the Braum. Zap does connect. NXI. Will he go in? Another engage. Messages has arrived. Last Dance have an opportunity. Chookies still so low, but will not go down just yet. Meanwhile, Azog has red, white, and he will continue to fight. Not enough for a kill to go over, but Last Dance pushing the tempo, finding opportunities.
Yeah, but they don't find any kills, and it's big because look at Onat mid. He's going to get at least a plate to himself. The Rift Herald still went down to the side of Azog and Supernova, so they're still able to stack up gold. And you can see that gold lead, it went from 1.5 to 2.5k in that play, because Last Dance, they found nothing.
Another plate picked up for Onat as well. 600 gold advantage in the mid lane off of farm and plates alone. And you can see all of the gold stack up in favor of Supernova, our qualifier team. 2,500 is the lead as plates start to fall.
Play the side of Supernova, as I think this map state's still pretty good for them. really just curious to see what happens to this upcoming Dragon. I think it's important the fact not only that Chucky's lives, that they don't get more gold over the last dance, but a lot of summoner spells were burned in that play. As this is tense.
Only 1 kill in 14 minutes. This is not what we're used to here in NACL, Cubby.
Teams are playing for their lives. I mean, not just in the tournament, just given it's a promotion tournament, their lives to stay alive and try and make Challengers League for next year. That's such an income bonus for all these players, especially, you know, if you're the last dance, you have the opportunity to make it through to look for sponsors and try and get paid, not just being Orga players. So teams are playing for a lot here, trying to slow things down a little bit. I still feel like it favors Supernova, our qualifier team, who have full control over this bot side river as the Dragon spawns, and they're up in this part of the map.
Summoner's blown again to the top side. Bajani already cashed the counter-strike. Dragoon's gonna flash forward, forcing a summoner out of Bajani as well. Dragon started up, and Last Dance looking to maybe engage. Messages had the Frozen Claw forward, but doesn't go for it.
It's really good guns right now for Azog, as he has green-white. That white gun's about to go away, but he can keep up some chakrams in case the Last Dance wants to go in.
Dragoon's walking down.
Yeah. That is top line priority. If Dragoon gets here, it's one. Supernova just has to stall out time as Tricky as he bluffs, tries to go for messages, not able to be found. But now the Darius shows mid. Yeah, you can see the Last Dance. They immediately walk away.
Getting that second Dragon would have been very, very good for the Last Dance, but unfortunately for them, it is Supernova who even up the count at 1. The Ocean Soul does spawn as not necessarily the most value Drake, but it's not. I don't think it's going to matter too much because these teams want to play around these fights.
With Mythics completed, though, on the top side, that is really big for the Darius. That Strybreak.
Oh, he is. What a charm! But the re-engage is just too big. NXI locks down Kisno as 4 members of the Last Dance collapse onto the mid laner. Bajani gonna win the 1v1 and gets his revenge over Dragoon.
Huge for the Last Dance. As Supernova, they go for a play that was not necessary. They're shoving out bot. They got the turret on the bot side. It's first brick, but they go for a play mid at the same time. They don't need to. No one was showing bot from the Last Dance. They had 4 mid. They find a big answer and get that gold onto Aaron. Really important for them. Not to mention Bajani winning out of that 1v1.
I want to take... I mean, I'm surprised that that went that way. I think there were parts of that where maybe Dragoon overestimating his power just a little bit as the wave was crashing into him, but hey, it gets Bajani back in this game. It gets the Last Dance back into this game as well, as that gold lead has been cut in half.
Oh man, this is a really tense game, just given what we have for the stakes. Again, these are 2 teams that I still don't favor moving forward against Team Fish Taco, but you are fighting for that right to actually get to that point. Each of these teams have had their own long seasons through different paths, going through challengers for CLG Faith. Now the Last Dance only winning a couple of games and dropping 33 of them in the process. They have to win again here if they want to try and make it out, make it through. As Supernova, I mean, taking their own path at the 8th seed. It's tough. See if they can make it. As Bajani, he's got quite the angle here.
Counter-strike, only finding the stun onto 1. Kisno has a nice lantern out from Chookies, and now Messages might be in a bit of trouble. Huge Moonlight Vigil coming out from Azog, and he has the right guns to win this fight single-handedly, picking up the first fight onto NXI. Onat dashing forward, Dragoon arriving as well. It is going to be 3 dead for the Last Dance as Supernova take control.
The Last Dance, they went too deep into the choke. The kite was so good from Supernova, and it's just some of the small things, like the lantern for Kisno to get out, retreating back. No one could follow up on Messages, and no one hit Azog, as he was able to smurf that fight.
I mean, these fights just back and forth we go. I don't know, this is gonna be... I feel like down to the wire, even though Supernova, now 4,000 gold lead, they're cracking open these structures like it's nobody's business. Last Dance, they still are really close in these fights.
It's just the kiting, this lantern, it's the little things, but look at how deep Messages is. There's just no follow-up. Aaron's never able to auto-attack because of the threat that Dragoon has on the side as well. So he's only hitting Rift Herald, he's not hitting any champions. Dragoon gets in at the perfect time, and it's just Supernova playing their comp well. You have a Thrash off Elio's kite back, let them overcommit. That's really solid play from our qualifier team.
I feel like overall, just the collapses from the soul laners of Supernova around that Rift Herald fight were just so good. I mean, Onat finding an angle and then Dragoon swooping in on top. it allowed for, of course, Azog and Chookies to stay alive and really just get them control on the map. 4,500 gold lead as all those turrets went down in result of that fight going their way.
I know that we've had a big focus for Supernova, Kisno stepping up, Dragoon feeling like he's, one of the stronger players and opportunities that Supernova had to get a lead. We got to give some props over to Azog, though. I mean, like, this Aphelios has been big, and really his play in these 3 games, I feel like it's been the strongest on his team. This is a player that, for me, when he was dropped from Maryville, I thought that he was the weak point, one of the reasons that why they dropped University of St. Thomas, Shogo, and missed out on the finals. But to see him step up, at a higher level here, playing in this promotion tournament and play really solidly in these 3 games with Chookies, the support that did take him down in that series back in Collegiate, it's really good to see. I feel like he's been having a really nice tournament.
Yeah, alongside his former bot lane partner in Chookies as well. Yeah, as you said, enemies turned friends once again. It has been their lane that's been a really bright spot for Supernova, both in the quals and here in the promotion tournament, and they have really good control over this game. Dragon spawning in 15 seconds, and Last Dance maybe looking for an opportunity. Messages lands the Frozen Tomb in onto the support, and Chookies is down, and Aaron is excited. Moonlight Vigil does dodge away. Sketch going in as well. The Kisno is locked out and taken out of the fight.
Really big here from the Last Dance. A good pick. The ult from the Aphelios missed as well as Onat still has ult and Ignite. Maybe could look for something, but it looks like Supernova, they're just going to drop as the Last Dance, they fight on their terms. It's an overcommit from Supernova as they were too far up on the map, and the Last Dance, they answer back.
They still are able to find angles. That was a really nice engage from Messages. Even if it was only on the support, it allows for the rest of the team to really follow up. And it's just one kill that Last Dance needs to allow for Aaron to really show up. He is going with a full team fight build here. Runon's Hurricane on top of the Kraken Slayer, trying to get as much DPS onto as many members as possible.
And I think, again, moving forward, all eyes, they really have to be on Azog, as this Aphelios, he was ahead. We were praising him for playing well. And we could see what happened in that fight when the Aphelios wasn't able to freely auto-attack, when that ultimate didn't land. The lack of damage for Supernova. Darius is kiteable. They need to find the execute correctly, as Chucky's just too far up there on the thresh. I feel like he has to really play Lantern duty like we saw in the first fight. And we're going to see a lot of fights where it's about which team can have clean commits and then which teams overcommit into the other ones. As, oh, hold on, that's red-white. They dropped their tail. They're going to start this.
Wow. Azog will be able to burn this Baron down very quickly. Aaron, Sketch, and NXI are here, but Messages on the wrong side of the map. Needs to use a teleport to join his team. Hook coming in here onto Sketch, and with that Summoner spell being blown, Supernova will back away.
I like that. Just pull the TP. There's only one TP on the map for the Last Dance. Now you can play standard lanes, and I feel like Supernova, they're going to feel comfortable playing with this Ahri plus Darius in the side lane. I think you still have to hover the Darius side, given the strength that he has and the ability that Last Dance has to kite him down. But I did really like that play from Supernova. It's small, but just, play the macro correctly. Pull a TP. Take that. Get something else later. Oh,
what a flash out of Aaron to keep himself alive. And now Chucky is again getting locked up at the Frozen Tomb. Messages have to go away, but that's already the first kill. NXI with a huge kick onto Kisno, and now has to use the ward jump to get away. Onat will be able to lock him down. This is just a 1-for-1. Jungle for support. Supernova with the advantage.
See what else Supernova can get. Aphelios has great guns again. As
there's a hook
with a green-white.
Dejani gonna buy some time at the counter-strike, stunning up Onat, but now Sketch on the wrong side of things. Azog on a killing spree as Bajani has to flash away as well. Moonlight Vigil hits onto 2. Bajani keeping himself alive until he finally gets taken down by Onat, and Dragoon with the drag picks up 4, make it 5. Supernova with the ace, and they're gonna get the Baron on top.
I don't know why the Last Dance continued with that fight. Everything was blown. The flash was taken away for the Jinx. It was great guns for the Aphelios, who's stronger at this point. Dragoon finds Bajani, and the kite was so good as Onat just playing behind. Sketch is way too far up at this point. He's going to be playing with the Jinx, and again, it's no flash onto Jinx. So when this connects, Kisno able to step up. He gets ahead of the choppers, finds a great wind becomes lightning as the apprehend from Darius. They apprehend the Last Dance for their sins, take them down, take the Baron, and now Supernova, our qualifier team, in full control against our provisional team, as Supernova looking to extend their lives in this tournament.
The first team to be eliminated here in the NACL promotion tournament might just be a qualifier team, or sorry, a provisional team as the Last Dance now with their backs against the wall. Who can they look for? NXI needs a good engage. Aaron needs to have a great fight. And Bajani needs to buy as much space as he possibly can to allow for the rest of his carries to do decent DPS.
It's going to be so much gold, though, for Supernova. Like, look at the objectives that are still standing. They have 2 inner turrets to get through. Now, Supernova, they're stacked up at the moment. The only person that can realistically split is Onat, who has that TP. They're just going to 4-1. They're going to drop bot. That's okay. They're going to get another inner. And they could shift their power into this lane if they want to send Dragoon down here to try and get the last inner. I mean, we're looking at the 8k gold lead, another Dragon going in favor of Supernova off the back of this Baron. It's going to be so tough for the Last Dance to overcome this.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Bajani's pushing in the bot lane, but Supernova have their eyes set top and mid with Onat raining in auto attacks onto the mid lane tier 3. Supernova looking good. They're continuing to grow their lead. These structures are soon to be cracked open. Who's gonna pull the trigger first?
I think Supernova is just okay chilling at this point. I think if anything, that I want to see them shift power into the bot lane, just get that inner. It is pretty tough for them to break the inhibitor turrets. I say that as both are like at 5 HP. It's just, I guess, a little bit of a slower crawl. A part of why it's like seeing them shift their power bot is also to make sure that Dragon doesn't go over to Last Dance at this point. Dragon Soul is really one of the few things that can get the Last Dance back into this, given that it is Soul and also the Elder would spawn after. So I'd love to see Supernova deny that, but at the moment, it's just going to be more inhibitor turrets going on.
Oh, huge engage, huge damage. Last Dance is so dead. Supernova pick up 3. Dragoon with the dunk to finish the job. The heart of semi-pro will beat once more. Bajani looking to try and save the game, but he will go down in a trade to Onat. Supernova take down the Last Dance and will move on in the NACL promotion tournament.
No respect for the Dragoon Darius in that fight, as that fight was over before it started. The Last Dance, they were split. The Stride Breaker apprehend hits, and Dragoon makes sure that his team, they move forward in this tournament as Supernova, our lowest seed, a team that only made it to quarters in the last OQ. They've really shown that they're coming together. I think that was the best series we've seen from Kizno so far. We'll see if they have a chance against Team Fish Taco later.
You mentioned quarters. The team that Supernova lost to in the quarterfinals was Team Fish Taco. So revenge on top of revenge. Incredible work from Supernova.
Guaranteed that we get another new team into Challengers now with that matchup. And I gotta say, looking at the last one too, Maryville awaits the winner of Team Liquid First versus FlyFam. And Maryville's looked damn good so far in this tournament, taking AoE to 5 as well. So we could have 3 new teams potentially. Who knows? We'll have to find out.
I mean, they just messed with the Dragoon Game 3 Darius. I don't know what to tell you. That's just what happens at the end of the day.
I need the Dragoon Drip Darius to come back. All right, I've missed my time covering qualifiers and amateur. I really have. Dragoon's Drip Darius. I've been waiting to cover it in Challengers. It hasn't happened yet. He's playing well. I need it. I need to see it on Twitter. I need the image.
It's one series away.
You gotta fly it.
The opportunity still is there for Supernova as they keep themselves alive. We're gonna head to a short break. When we come back, Sierra will be talking to Onat about the win.
Hello friends and welcome to the Verizon post-game interview. I'm sitting down here with Onat after that 2-1 victory and moving on further in our lower bracket. First off, congratulations, that's a great win, but when you hopped in call, you seemed kind of stressed out, a little nervous about the game. Tell me how you're feeling, why were you stressed?
I mean, it's the last game, do or die, you lose, you're out. So everyone on the team is really stressed, and we were all just screaming our comms, going crazy in that last one, so it carried on. I mean, even after the game ended, my heart was coming out of my chest for like 5 to 10 minutes, so I'm just calming down right now.
There's a deep breath. It's a victory. It's great. And you're saying the whole team's stressed out at energy. Tell me a little bit more about the team, because it seems then if everyone's so stressed that there's a lot of passion and care to be moving on forward.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the people on the team, including myself, like really want to go to Academy and NACL. So we're kind of like banking a lot of our lives on this. So we care a lot. We have to win and we don't want to lose at all. So when it goes to a game 3, you can't really do anything but get really nervous and stressed. And I mean, game 1, we didn't really play like we usually play. So everyone's stressed because if we played like we usually did, we think the series would have been a 2-0. Like, we just want to be able to play like we usually do, and the uncertainty is what scares us a lot.
Well, then talk to me about this then. Playing like you should, playing as a team that would win, because want to see more of you going forward. I love the ambitions of the team. When we get to see Supernova all together, playing that game as you should, what should we expect from this team?
A lot of flashy mid-jungle stuff, winning 2v2s, moving bot, choking them out, Azog and Chucky's going crazy, and then Dragoon pulling out random-ass picks, blind, oh sorry, my bad, to win blind. I mean, just a lot of flashy stuff, I think, from, like, you know, new, inexperienced mid-jungle, just going crazy on people, and veteran bot lane beating everybody, so.
Then I'm hoping maybe see a little bit of that going forward, because the dream's still alive, still moving on in this lower bracket, and going up next is an opponent that you're pretty familiar with Team Fish Taco. Tell me a little bit more about that history between you two.
They've always beaten us in officials, but we still feel like we have a good chance against them because of our scrims and, you know, just how we stack up against their individual players. So we think it always comes really close, and we just need to make that extra push mid-late game to get the win, and we think it's really possible. So we're coming in with, you know, an urge to get a little bit of revenge because they beat us last time. So I'm looking forward to that.
The revenge tour, I love that. Well, I'm definitely glad to see the win out today for that chance and that shot of revenge. And it's been great chatting with you. Before I let you go, though, if you have any shout outs or any final words, Onat.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to my entire team. Shout out to the opponents. I think they played really well. Shout out to NXI. I think he played really well in that entire series. Robbie Bob should keep running some 1v1s and warm up because we're coming pretty hard. And yeah, that's it from me. Thank you.
Best of luck moving on forward, and have a good rest of your day too, okay? All right, as for us, still one more series and one more team to be joining our eliminated last dance. We're going to be taking a quick break, but don't go too far.